WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. A section of the Winston County Courthouse caved in this morning, leaving behind piles of brick and concrete, as well as a few headaches for county leaders. Our Riley Livingston takes a look at how they're dealing with the impact. She joins us live in the studio with more. Riley?
Joey, the EMA director calls it a disaster in progress, and now falling bricks are causing a domino effect for other county projects. It was a call the Winston County Board of Supervisors wasn't expecting. A section of the back wall of the courthouse was about to come down, and there wasn't much time to act.
We did declare it an emergency. We've hired Pryor and Marr to do some preliminary engineering. We've contacted our insurance folks. We met with them this morning. They're doing some investigating too to see what may have caused it. We don't know what the cause is other than just time, and I think the building's 65 years old.
As a precaution, the road next to the courthouse has been shut down and a barricade has been set up near the damage.
This disaster is still in the process of happening. We've just had the first occurrence. If you look at it and examine it, you can tell that there's going to be more brick falling, and we want to make sure that everyone's first of all safe, and second of all that they can continue as normally with their lives as possible.
While some employees and residents may be shaken by the sight, the building itself is still stable.
Operations within inside the courthouse are not necessarily going to be impacted by this. We've been assured by engineering staff that the building is structurally sound. However, we're going to have to do some management with our access and egress, how we get into and out of the building during these times, because a couple of the entrances are going to be closed for safety.
But the tumbling walls are having a domino effect on some county business. Luke Park says the collapse will cause further delays to another project.
We accepted bids to build a new building yesterday. We contacted the contractors that we awarded the bids to yesterday, and the building fell down this morning. So we on hold on everything right now.
Buddy King says they will be keeping a close eye on the building as they continue to investigate the cause of the cave-in.
Tupelo police are trying to find the person accused of stealing a truck out of a restaurant parking lot. Surveillance cameras show the suspects driving a white four-door Chrysler into the parking lot on South Gloucester Street on June 20th. The alleged thieves then leave in a Ford bucket truck. Anyone with information should call Crime Stoppers. Amory wants more people to visit downtown, and city leaders are making improvements to draw those guests to town. With more people comes a need for more safety. WCBI's Allie Martin tells us about some of the changes coming near Frisco Park.
The threat of rain did not stop Margie Ernest from bringing her grandkids to the splash pad at Amory's Frisco Park. Since it opened 2 years ago, the splash pad has been a popular attraction, bringing more people to the park. The increase in pedestrian traffic has prompted city leaders to look at ways to make the park safer, especially for the younger visitors. Aldermen have approved extra safety measures, such as speed bumps at each corner around City Hall.
The splash pad is a super great spot for town. Everybody comes out and plays, and it gets real busy in the summertime. And then again, we get busy also during the summertime, so it just brought to our attention. We actually had one of the trucks come around one day in front of City Hall there. There was a kid that had got away from the parents right there coming out into the street, and that just brought a concern to mind.
Speed bumps and slower traffic will make it safer for anyone crossing the street to use the public bathrooms between the fire and police stations, but signage will also be put up at brand new restrooms right by the stage and pavilion at Frisco Park.
We are going to basically make a crosswalk across the street and put reflectors down the side there, just so it creates a sense of safety for the kids when they're out approaching the splash pad and going to the restroom.
I think they need them and need to slow down because, you know, kids try to go across there to use the bathroom, and if they go by themselves, you know, they could slow down and maybe they wouldn't be an accident or anything.
The additional safety measures should be in place by the end of the summer. In Amory, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Now, those improvements will cost about $8,000. Time now to turn things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. And just before I came out here, Keith, it was pouring pouring outside here in downtown Columbus.
Pouring here in Columbus, I want to go down to Louisville. Check this out from North Church Avenue. Heather sends us these photos right here of some street flooding. We got socked with a great amount of water just around 5 o'clock here. Look at that gas station flooded there. And we still have some heavy downpour showers and storms in Winston County and Ackerman out there in Choctaw County. Also, there's downtown Columbus. We've got the wet weather as well, a live view here in downtown. It is a wet Tuesday evening, and we will continue with the chance for showers and storms on a scattered basis here. No severe weather here, although we may see some wind gusts over 30 miles per hour this evening, though. We are in the 70s. Your full forecast is coming up.
A Mississippi Emergency Management Agency grant is providing additional help for Lowndes County residents. The $250,000 disaster housing recovery grant was recently approved. Money from the grant will be used to purchase materials for restoration projects approved by Community Recovery of Lowndes County. CRLC is helping Lowndes County residents that still have unmet needs from the February 23rd tornado and flooding that occurred earlier this year. Primary elections for state and local offices are only a few weeks away on August 6th. Absentee voting is happening right now. Our Stephanie Poole speaks to one circuit clerk about how absentee turnout is going so far. She joins us live in the studio. Stephanie?
Yes, as Election Day gets closer, those eligible to vote absentee are heading to the courthouse to turn in their ballots. If you aren't able to cast on your vote on August 6th, it's still important to exercise your right to vote. In 3 weeks, thousands of people will head to the polls, casting their votes for who they want to see in office. But every year, there are people who get a head start that aren't able to make it on August 6th.
If they cannot do it on Election Day at the polling place, absentee ballots are available.
Itawamba County Circuit Clerk Carol Gates and her staff are hard at work preparing absentee ballots and counting the ones that come in the mail.
We have received around 30 ballots, that's Democrat and Republican together.
Gates is expecting for more ballots to be turned in closer to the deadline as people choose their candidates.
If you don't vote, a lot of times you may not be able to complain about what's going on if you're not happy. So that's your voice, as your vote is your voice as to what happens.
Election Commissioner Tommy Golston trains poll workers about the rules and regulations for Election Day. Golston says poll workers must go to 4 workshops. Gates says she and her staff will work tirelessly to make sure everything runs smoothly on primary day. The last day to vote absentee is August 3rd at 12 p.m. If you have any questions, you can contact your local circuit clerk's office.
Some area girls have an explosive way to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission. We head to Mission Control when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. Girl Scouts across our area and the nation are remembering the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. Girl Scouts are taking part in Project Liftoff. They're making straw rockets and launching them in honor of the launch of Apollo 11 50 years ago today. The event also educates Girl Scouts about the need for women to be involved in the future of the space program.
So we took a group of girls to Huntsville to the Space Center last year for a whole week, and they actually told us that the people that are going to be walking the surface of Mars are alive today. So that's just amazing to me, and hopefully some of our Girl Scouts may be the ones that are going to do that.
Now the Girl Scouts will keep track of their rocket launches and submit them to the Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama, in hopes of setting a new world record for rocket launches. Writing, producing, and starring in a musical is hard enough. Now try doing it in 3 weeks. Students from the Mississippi Art Commission Summer Scholar Program are doing just that. For the past 2.5 weeks, they've been working on a 3-act musical and 6 original songs. The students do it all from story idea to set design. Organizers say the goal is a safe and creative environment for young, developing minds.
Different kids are drawn to different things. And I think, we talk a lot about how playing football, for instance, can build character and build teamwork and build strong young people. Theater can do the exact same thing. usually for a different crowd of kids.
The show is called Pitch. Admission is free. Show dates will be Friday and Saturday.
Some heavy downpours across our region today. That was the view earlier in Amory. Many other spots getting some heavy downpours, gusty wind too, some lightning. Our rain chances actually go down a little bit as temperatures go on up as we close the work week. Full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
All right, friends, those of you in Louisville, here's the storm that rocked your world not too long ago. Look at that shelf cloud and then bam, right there, tons of rain. Wind gusts maybe over 40 miles per hour at times, and that stirred up some damage here. There's one of those trampolines going into the tree with some of those wind gusts. And look at some of the street flooding right here. Our Twitter feed picking up on some of this activity. That was in Louisville and also in the New Hope area. Some of these heavier downpours coming on down just like waterfalls down off the roofs. And you can see some of the heavier downpours in the Starkville area too. So we've had a lot of rain out there. Back to Louisville, a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain, hence the street flooding, especially there on the north side of town with some of those heavier downpours. And we still have another one coming on in right now. So no rest for the weary right now. And some of those go back into Atala County, southeast of Louisville too. A little bit of thunder and lightning showing on up. Back towards Eupora, some non-severe activity and just some steadier rain for you. East of downtown Columbus now out towards the state line. That's where the heaviest downpours are currently located, and some additional downpours over there just around Vernon, Alabama, and a few more back to the northwest too towards Houston, and even more so back over towards Greenville. More complexes of showers and storms. So we will continue the chance for scattered showers and storms this evening, and then that will tend to wane a little bit, but the opportunity for some additional rain and storms during the night into our day tomorrow. We are in the 70s in the wake of those showers and storms. So earlier today we were in the 80s and 90s, now 70s in the wake of the storm. The heat index not too bad locally, but we are looking at the heat index pushing back above 100, maybe over 105 later this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. For tonight, lingering showers and storms still possible. Lows down into the 70s, so a few more degrees from where we are now. And for your Wednesday, up into the upper 80s to low 90s before any storms happen to pop on up. That rain chance about 40%. And any one of these storms could be very, very heavy, very wet here this evening. Even another complex possible tonight into our day Wednesday, but not as numerous. That's what we're thinking tomorrow. And as we get into Thursday, too, even fewer showers and storms likely, and that will allow the temperature to go on up. So here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. 89 tomorrow, 92 Thursday, 93 Friday. The heat index into the triple digits. Rain chances will return this weekend into next week.
Local law enforcement is hoping to cruise to victory in this year's American Association of State Troopers Cruiser Contest. The 2019 Best Looking Cruiser Contest began yesterday and will continue until July 30th. Mississippi Highway Patrol's newest car, the Mississippi Dodge Durango, is currently in 15th place. Alabama Highway Patrol Cruiser is currently in 11th. You can vote once a day from each of your devices. The link to vote is on our website, WCBI.com. Ole Miss makes its appearance in Hoover for SEC Media Days. More on the Rebs' upcoming season after the break.
Your WCBI Sports is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Thanks for tuning in. I'm Chris Bolton. College football is upon us as SEC Media Days are here. Day 2 featured the Ole Miss Rebels. Making a trip to Hoover included head coach Matt Luke, Matt Corral, Alex Givens, and Momo Sonogo. Now, plenty of change is taking place for Ole Miss as they enter the season. You have new coordinators, a new starting QB, a new wide receiving core, and also the return of possible postseason football as there are no more bowl bans. Now, Matt Luke says the guys are happy about the chance to possibly play in the bowl.
There's a different energy in the building. I think it's very refreshing to come in here and to talk about, being able to try to go back to the postseason. I think that's a huge deal. I think our players are excited. I think our fans are excited, and just really looking forward to that opportunity. I was fortunate enough to be on a team as a player in 1997 to come off probation and send that senior class to a bowl game. I think just seeing the looks on their faces, and I'm just excited about that challenge and looking forward to it.
Everyone was calling us inexperienced, got a lot of the young players, but the ceiling's high for the potential. We have DK, AJ, DeMarcus Lodge, they were all freshmen once. So, I'm very excited for the future to come for the Ole Miss Rebels.
Well, like I said, Coach Luke kept us together through the whole thing. He had us playing for something bigger than ourselves, bigger than bowl games. So, that's just a weapon for us this year now that we have a bowl game to play for.
Keeping things in Alabama, as Alabama Week continues next on our high school football tour, the Stallions are coming off an undefeated season, looking not only to repeat that success, but they came up just short. Here's the package.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
2018 sits in the memory of the South Lamar Stallions as an unforgettable season. The Stallions experienced their first undefeated regular season since 1994, but for a second year in a row, came up just short of a state title appearance. South Lamar head coach Clay Gilliam and his squad remembers the feeling to fall short and are determined in 2019 to bring home some rings.
They know what it takes now. They've went through 3 years. This will be their 4th year with me, and they know what it takes to get there, and they've done a really good job with that, and they know this is going to get them there.
Our expectations is have another undefeated season, make a good run through the playoffs, and hopefully get a ring in the championship.
We lost a few players, but we got some coming in. They work hard. I hope they play even harder.
South Lamar won't be quite as loaded as it was last year. After losing a chunk of experienced seniors, the Stallions know the growing pains of filling in gaps on the team and work to do so while relying on the team's quick feet to help get the job done.
We have a lot of speed this year. We'll rely a lot on that, but Jarrett Bryant, Malachi Oglen, Chase Sides, they're great guys. They have a lot of speed, and we rely a lot on those guys.
We get to the outside, it's probably a touchdown, no doubt.
Nobody been able to catch us in open space. We just made plays and scored. We lost some on the line, but we got some coming in, and they're pretty big.
Coach Gilliam has raised this team as he prepares to begin his 4th season in charge. As a team that's grown up together, the team's closeness translates into chemistry on the field.
These seniors were my 9th graders when I was coming in. I couldn't be more proud of them. They've done a really good job. They're really good kids.
I can rely on everybody, but I can really rely on my brother, Malachi Oglen, and my cousins, Jarrett and Chase. Work with my team and my family, it's pretty much the same. My bond with my team is pretty much the same as my family. We're real close.
The Stallions enter into a new season with confidence and the mentality that each Friday comes down to hard work, preparation, and simply finishing out the game. South Lamar begins its quest for a state championship win against Lamar County on August 23rd.
Kids say it's lit. I want it to be lit. And when it's under the lights, it's a different feeling, and I'm so pumped up about it.
With the Stallions on the high school football tour, Courtney Robb, WCBI Sports.
60 Schools in 60 Days with South Lamar High School was brought to you by Shop and Save, Vernon Dental Clinic, and Alpha Agent Alicia Clark.
So tomorrow, as we continue SEC Media Days, we'll have Mississippi State and Alabama will be featuring. Now, Alabama last season, they had to worry about quarterback controversy between Tua and Jalen. This year, it's Mississippi State that has the competition, so we'll see if that's probably going to be the focal point of conversation tomorrow. But we'll have a last look at your forecast coming up after the break.
All right, got this video from a viewer on Facebook, Jennifer Smith. Look at this. This was the scene in Louisville with that storm, and that is what kicked out some of that wind damage and the street flooding and what have you. So amazing imagery right there with some wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. We still have some pretty good storms out there across our southern and eastern counties, and we'll carry over the chance of rain into the evening and the overnight. Also a few more storms tomorrow, but hot weather by the end of the week and the weekend.
Yeah, these thunderstorms are pretty tough if you get underneath
They
one.
certainly are.
All right, thanks, Keith. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Have a good night.